Hey everybody, Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. My guest tonight is a fantastic singer, songwriter, and guitar player, and he's got a fabulous album called Let Not These Songs Be Wasted. And you've heard some of these songs on our show already, and he has five number ones from this project on the indie charts, and getting a lot of great, well-deserved attention. And I'm very glad to have him here tonight to talk to me. And we're going to play some of those songs for you too. This is Kent Gill. Kent, how are you tonight?
Doing great, Scott. It's so good to be on your show.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, and we've had some nice discussions in the past, and I'm really glad that we're able to talk again and share your music with our listeners tonight.
Yeah, well, that sounds great, and I do appreciate you playing my songs.
Well, it's my honor. They're good. They're good songs, and I want to talk about the album and talk about the songs. But first, I'd like to get a little bit of your background. Tell me a little bit about your history in the music business.
Well, like a lot of people, I grew up listening to church music and music on the Victrola that my folks had, that kind of thing. So I became interested at an early age, wanting a guitar, got one at an early age and started learning to play. Then when I graduated from high school, I went about 100 miles north to Shreveport because I knew there was still some people around Shreveport that had been associated with the Louisiana Hayride that knew the music business. Well, I found this man named Tillman Franks, who had managed Johnny Horton and Claude King and a number of others. And at that time, he was managing David Houston. So I, through my big brother, got an audition arranged through with Tillman and David to play guitar. So I went up to Tillman's office, and David sang some songs, and I played behind him. And next thing I knew, I was on the road touring with David Houston and Tillman Franks. We played all over the United States. We had guest shots on the Grand Ole Opry and a number of those package shows that were really popular in those days where any number of big-name artists would be there. So it was a really exciting time, and from there I went to the military service, went into the Army.
Wow.
And then from the Army, well, I could go on. From the Army, I went on, decided to go to college, went to law school, and then later on rejoined David Houston for a few years in the 80s, about 3.5 years. And this time we toured the U.S. and Canada and also toured Norway and England. And along about the end of 85, I decided to leave the road, and I stayed involved in music, though, on a local basis. And then, just about a year ago, I recorded and released this album of songs that I've written called Let Not These Songs Be Wasted.
Wow, that's quite a storied career. You've been a busy guy.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a fun time for me. It really has.
Well, tell me, who are some of the people that you worked with on those package shows that kind of left a impression on you?
Well, some of the people on those package shows were very popular at the time, but some of them went on to make it really big time, like Willie Nelson. We worked with him on some of those package shows, and that was back in the days when he was combing his hair back,
Yeah.
and wearing a suit. Those days, Roger Miller. We worked with Roger Miller on any number of those. Bill Anderson, Porter Wagner, Ernest Tubb, Rusty and Doug Kershaw, a couple of my heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Rusty and Doug Kershaw. And I could think of more. There were just a lot of people. Connie Smith, she was at her early part of her career at that time and was starting to really break big. Yeah, Skeeter Davis. Skeeter Davis, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Worked with her a number of times as well. Oh, I could go on.
Man, that's great. So how was David Houston to work with?
He was fabulous. First of all, most importantly, he was a very nice fellow, just a genuinely good person. Good to work with, and supremely talented, very talented singer. And I learned a lot from David, learned a lot. A lot of people don't know this, but David, in addition to all the pretty songs that he sang, he liked blues. And he would sit
right?
backstage waiting to go on. He'd play blues licks, and I would learn them from him.
No kidding. Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Well, I know. I'm sure that I hear some Luther Perkins in your guitar playing style, so I'm sure that he's probably one of your big guitar influences.
Luther is probably my biggest guitar influence. I like all the others, Chet and James Burton and Tommy Tomlinson, but Luther is the one who got my attention, the biggest and the best there. And yes, I have to have a little of the Luther influence in my music.
Well, I always liked his style because he was so tasteful. He knew when to, kind of hold back and let the singer do the singing, and then come in when he was supposed to. And a lot of guitar players, that's a fine crafted art to learn. A lot of guitar players don't seem to get that.
A lot of guitar players have to work at it, and Luther, it just came natural. That was just his way of playing. I think he was born to do what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. So flash forward to this new album. Tell me a little bit about how this album came into being for you.
Well, I had for some time wanted to record some of the songs that I had written, and finally I decided, well, it's time to, go for broke and do it. And so I think along about 2016 is when I started. It took a while to get it together, but I took some of the songs I'd written, and in the process, I wrote some songs along the way. So some of these are older written songs, and some of them are right modern that I put on there. But I recorded these all at D&D Studio in Shreveport, engineered and co-produced by Dexter Mathis, who is a genius at getting the right sounds at the right places at the right time. And he was great to work with. He is, by the way, the son of Dean Mathis, who was the leader and organizer of a group called the New Beats that had that big pop hit called Bread and Butter.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty great. If folks, you can go to KentGill.com. We'll put that information on our Facebook page, and this album is available there. You also did a gospel CD one Sunday long ago.
Yes, and that was all instrumental. I played all the instruments on that gospel album. And by the way, either of these albums can, if you want to get a hard copy CD, they can be ordered from I2I Records. That's little I, number 2, little I, I2I Records. But yes, the gospel CD, I put just a number of my favorite hymns on there, all instrumental. But now, my next project that I'm working on right now is a vocal gospel album, all of songs that I've written, and I'm excited about it. We're getting it underway, and soon to have about 5 of them completed and 5 more to go, but we will be releasing some before the album comes out.
Well, that's great. Keep me posted on that for sure.
I will let you know.
Absolutely. And this current album, my gosh, you've had 5 number 1s on the indie charts, and that's pretty incredible. You've gotten a lot of attention with this.
I'll tell you what, it's humbling, and I was very surprised when it started to happen that way. But yes, I've had some really blessings with these, and fixing to release another one from the album. I'm going to release Tide Winds.
Oh, that's a great song. Yeah, I like that. Another one that I like on here is Daddy's Gonna Get a Real Job.
Yeah, that's every musician's story, I hope. I don't think there's a musician out there who hasn't heard the question, when are you going to get a real job? And so I decided to write a song about that, and this is what came out. Daddy's going to get a real job someday.
I love it. And love Song of the Ages. I know that went to number 1 for you. Flower Mountain, Your Pretty Hazel Eyes, and A Girl Named Dixie, and Heartbreak. That's another great one. Mm-hmm. You've had a lot of great songs on there. Tell me about the title song. I think that's a great, kind of a prolific title. Let Not These Songs Be Wasted.
That I see as a songwriter's prayer. In fact, I subtitled the song that. It is indeed, the song is basically a prayer. It's about one songwriter walking by the lake and seeing a silhouette of somebody out there kneeling and praying, and then he listens, and that songwriter is saying a prayer, let not these songs be wasted. I think it's every songwriter's hope and dream and prayer to have his songs reach an appreciative audience, and that's what this song is about. And I'm very happy. You know, sometimes you write a song and you wonder, now how much of this did I really write? Did the good Lord help me a whole lot on this? I just felt like he did, you know.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. And so many of the great songwriters that I talk to will say the same thing. You know, things come to them real fast, and there's got to be, there's got to be a higher power there, kind of guiding the pen.
I firmly believe that I wouldn't make it through the next breath if there was not.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So, are you doing any performing?
Yes, I'm doing quite a bit of performing. I perform. I do a lot of single shows, and I also perform with a 50s rock group headed by my friend Bill Handorf. It's called Flashback of Shreveport. And we do the old songs of the 50s, which I love, the rock and roll, some of the country songs of the 50s as well. But I play guitar and also sing with the group. And we have 9 pieces in all, you know, including drums, saxophone, piano, bass, 2 ladies who sing backup and also sing lead. It's a great group. We enjoy it.
Well, it sure sounds like it. That's fantastic. Well, folks, KentGill.com is the website, and you can pick up his music also at i2irecords.com, and we will put all that information on our Facebook page. And we're going to play some of those songs from Let Not These Songs Be Wasted. And, Ken, I hope that when you get your new project done, you'll let us know.
Oh, I will. You'll be one among the first, and I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to be on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Scott.
All right, that's Kent Gill. As we continue with My Kind of Country, here's some great songs from Let Not These Songs Be Wasted. And please go to KentGill.com and i2irecords.com. Kent, thanks again for being on My Kind of Country.
My pleasure, Scott. Thank you.
She was standing with her family there to greet us. The Texas sun was shining on her hair. As we got out of our old car, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I soon found out this lady's name was Dixie. Her eyes met mine as I stood on the sidewalk. She smiled at me as we all went inside. A beauty like I'd never seen. I think she'd just turned 17. That summer, Friday morning, I met Dixie. Her hair was gold, her eyes were green, a lady in her prime. She treated me like royalty and gave me all her time. She took me to a cowboy show, but what was playing, I don't know. My thoughts were all about this girl named Dixie. I don't remember why we went to see them. I reckon maybe they were family friends. That didn't seem to matter then. I thought I was a seasoned man, although I wasn't half the age of Dixie. That night we headed home to Louisiana. She kissed me on the cheek and said goodbye. I didn't know a thing to say. I stammered something, then I waved goodbye to that pretty girl named Dixie.
Dixie.
Her hair was golden, honey blonde. Her eyes were forest green. She treated me like royalty, this girl of 17. She took me to a cowboy show, but what was playing, I don't know. My thoughts were all about this girl named Dixie.
Dixie.
I've dreamed about her off and on since childhood, although I haven't seen her since that day. But if I ever see her again, I'll tell her what her memories been to me when I hear the song called Dixie.
Dixie.
Her hair was gold, her eyes were green, a lady in her prime. She treated me like royalty and gave me all her time. She took me to a cowboy show, but what was playing, I don't know. My thoughts were wrapped around this girl named Dixie.
Dixie.
Comes raining from the sky and makes everything just right. We can dream a perfect world that might happen by and by, but it's not on the agenda tonight. Dear one, in matters of the heart, let's be honest from the start. There's just no way to fake it. Love don't just happen. We have to make it.
We have to make it.
Well, I've seen people sit and wait for love to walk in through the gate, as if they didn't know they could create it. I've known love about to bloom, you could feel it in the room, but it wilted with no one to cultivate it. Well, I'm not that kind of man, girl, I'm ready to make plans. I pledge my heart to you, now don't you break it. Love don't just happen. We have to make it. Forgive me, I don't mean to preach, and I don't know how to teach, but I've seen some friends get hurt in my time. I've seen people sit and pout, expecting love to seek them out. That seems to me to be a shame and crime. Baby, you and I both know our love needs us to make it grow, or if it falls asleep, we have to wake it. Love don't just happen. We have to make it.
We have to make it.
Take me, I've spent a many a year watching bubbles in my beer, hoping for some miracle or magic. But we both know it takes two. For example, me and you. Let's don't let this night go by, it would be tragic. Hey, I believe in you and me, and that together we can see our love take root and grow, but don't mistake it. Love don't just happen. We have to make it. Love don't just happen. We have to make it.
We have to make it.
One early morning, dark and still, I wandered by a lake. A song I couldn't seem to finish had me wide awake. And as I walked along the water's edge out toward the pier, I heard a lonely voice from in the darkness somewhere near. I looked around as I walked on to see who else was there. The words were growing clearer and they sounded like a prayer. Then slowly into focus came a kneeling silhouette. As I stood there I heard a prayer I never will forget. Let not these songs be wasted, Lord in heaven, hear my plea. We both know I've already wasted way too much of me. And I know I'm not the first or last to dream and reach for fame. Let not these songs be wasted, Father, hallowed be thy name. I couldn't help but listen as he knelt there on the pier. He said, I want to sing these songs for all who care to hear. He didn't seem to know or care that I heard what he said. Forgive my debts and let these songs earn me my daily bread. Let not these songs be wasted, Lord, I love them like my sons. I leave a parcel of my very soul in every one. Oh, don't let me be tempted by the shortcuts of the day. Deliver me from evil and help me to find my way. The kingdom, power, and glory ever rest alone in thee. I put my trust in you and you entrust these words to me. It seems I hold the pencil while you write, I heard him say, beside the still lake water just before the break of day. Let not these songs be wasted, Lord, they're all I've got to give. It's hard to make a life of songs and still find ways to live. But I believe they say some things we all could stand to hear. 'Cause when I write a keeper, seems you're always standing near. My knees began to hurt me, he'd been kneeling there so long. I felt like an eavesdropper, so I turned to move along. Let not these songs be wasted, Lord, I heard him say again. In Jesus' name I humbly pray, thy will be done, amen.